Let's see if it works. We're gonna go ahead and push this button. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the part 2 of the Hansho Frunk installation for your Model Y. And just a little bit of background, we have done a version of this already. However, there has been a few changes to the version, such as the brackets. So before we get started, I thought it'd be really good to talk about all the parts. This is the struts, right? This does not matter if it goes left or right. It is interchangeable, just so you know. This is what we call the controller, and what this is pretty much the brain. There is also a button you can press, and this is how you program like the speed and so on, or resetting. This is part of this. This is just an adhesive tape that you can just put so that you can mount it on the car so it doesn't rattle or move. These are the new brackets I talked about. It's definitely a little bit different. I mean, it is completely different actually from what I used when I installed the last video. So there is a left or right. R means right while you're sitting in the car. So when you are looking at the car, it's the opposite. So keep that in mind. This is a fuse. This has a fuse inside right here. This connects to the power, and this is how you connect to all the wires with the controller unit, okay? So this is what we're gonna be using to power the power Frunk. These are just cables. This obviously connects everything all together. You got 2 sets. This is really for the latch area, and this is really more for the controller area and also the struts. So these 2 bolts will be going to the brackets. And lastly, this is one of the most important one. This is connected. This is the latch, okay? And this connects to the original latch, and it will be utilizing parts of that to make this automatic. This is actually the motor, the electric motor, and also it has a safety pull right here, and this will be going to the tow hitch. So these are all the parts that are including in the Hansho version 5 for the Model Y Frunk. Check out this video on how to remove the Frunk, and then meet us back here. I like taking out the actual strut top part first, and then after that I could get a wrench and then go in there and turn it and loosen it, and then eventually get my hands in there and then turn it around. I do put a tape right here because I am gonna get this tool. Sometimes I actually tape my tool so I'm not damaging anything. You can see that I use this trim tool, and I go under like that, and I loosen that. And as I'm loosening it, I try to pull. There you go. You can see it kind of come out. So it's this metal band that goes around that ball joint. That's what's happening, okay? So I got it loosened now. Let me go ahead and try to get under from there. There you go. So I just loosened it. Let's get a picture of that ball joint right up there. That's connected to this. And then I do have our support manager, customer support manager Desto over there, holding the hood. You can get like a pole. It's like a hood holder that you can get from like an auto shop. You can use that. But once you remove these, just keep in mind, it's gonna come down, right? Because there's nothing holding it. Incredibly hard because you can't see anything. I mean, I just kind of feel it. And then I got a wrench over here. And then I'm gonna loosen that up. And there you go. I got it pretty loosened. I'm gonna loosen it just a little bit more. I'm good. And I'm gonna get my hand all the way in there. Again, this is the most, I would say this is the most difficult aspect of this installation, because I don't have big hands, but it's still hard. Okay, now I finally got a grip where I can actually, there you go. Awesome. So let's get you a close-up. So what I do is I just remove the top, and then I get a wrench. It's a 13mm that you want. And then after that, I get it loose, and then I hand release it, right? So that's what you want to do. So let's go ahead and get the bracket. So again, it says R, and when you're facing the car, it's actually the left side. And this bracket should sit right here, like that. There's already a washer included, and then you're going to be using the screws they provide. And you are going to also be using this hex tool, which is a 5mm right over here. And you're going to be tightening that. I'm going to just place it there so you guys can see a little bit better. So that's how it's going to sit. I mean, if you look at it, it just sits kind of naturally. So we have the hex tool right here, the screw, and we're going to be using this tool right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can hand tighten it a little bit. Okay, so I got it started slightly. I feel it. So I got it hand tightened. That's really the easiest way to do it. And then once you have it tightened like that, you want to go in and just try to get a grip. And one thing too about this video is I think there's a lot of installation videos that just make everything look easy. I'll try to give you a kind of a raw outlook. It's not easy. I'm struggling right now. On top of us trying to film this, I'm just trying to feel it and see if I'm doing it right? And then I look at it every now and then. Okay, cramp in my fingers. Okay, I'm telling you, man, I don't have big hands, and if you have really big hands, find a friend with smaller hands to help out with this, because there's not a lot of space. We now have the struts, and as I mentioned earlier, it does not matter whether this is L or right. It is interchangeable. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about. And I like to just go under there, just because it's a little bit easier later down the line. You don't have to take out this pin right here. So at the bottom of the strut, it's the same thing. Remember I told you about that metal band? It's right here. Typically, it should just kind of fit in, especially in the bottom. And you can see that orientation-wise, it's actually the same way. All you have to do is just spin it, and then you have it in the right orientation. So really, really easy to get that straightened out. And I'm going to start with the bottom and go ahead and just try to push it in. All right, so I have my bracket right here. And just push that in. And then you have, if you have someone holding the hood, just make sure that it's in the right height. And then you just push that in as well. This can be a little bit harder. Go down just a bit. There's not a lot of space to grab it, so that's why it's so hard. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, that's a struggle, but it's hearing that sound, that click. But I'm gonna go do the exact same thing on the other side. All right, so after battling with this strut for a long time, it's still incredibly hard to get in here, especially this side, because there's a few other things that's here, like, this bracket right here, that kind of just makes your hand a lot harder. I think that side's a lot easier. I just wanna introduce you to a tool. Something like this is gonna help you a lot because you can leverage it, and then you don't have to go all the way in there. The other thing is to loosen this up. It is, I believe, a 13 or a 12mm wrench. You wanna make sure that it is a really long one. That'll also make it easier to loosen up, okay? So one last thing is when I do the cabling, what I like to do is I like to go under all of this, right? Because you don't want it over the windshield area. So I go under all this brackets, and I have my cable right here, and my cable right there as well. So we got the hard part done. If you can get past this, I think everything else becomes a lot easier. We're gonna go ahead and tackle on the latch, and we'll do a more thorough explanation of how this would work. And we do this video because we love the Tesla community, and we want to help educate other Tesla owners on how to protect, customize, and maintain their vehicle. So it would mean the world to us if you click on that subscribe button. So for this latch section, what you're going to be doing is removing the original one, and then you're going to be attaching to the latch bracket that Hanshow provides. These are 10mm, but there's 2 bolts. You want to grab a Sharpie, and if you have a silver one, it helps. And what you're doing is you're just marking around that so you get a reference when you do put it back, okay? So that's all you're doing. You're just getting a little bit of that. You're drawing lines around where this bracket sits. Once we have that, we're going to go ahead and use our ratchet right here, loosen that up. we are going to go ahead and disconnect this. And for this disconnect is a very common one, but you want to pull this tab right here, just like that, and then you push it in, like so. And you are going to loosen this spring up. And all you have to do is hold this, and be careful when you do this, and you're just going to gently place it down. So this spring goes underneath that. That's original, and I just pulled it out. I pulled it down, and then I made it go all the way up. And then you grab the bracket right over here and put it in the bottom of the OEM one. And this cable right here, it has a pulley right there, and you're going to put it underneath like so. And once that's there, you are going to grab, I guess, like the metal spring. And you're going to do your best to get over that again. Okay, so once I have that, we'll go ahead and grab it, pull it, and then make sure that this metal cable is sitting underneath that spring. So that's pretty much what you want to do. And then from then on, you can use the original screw to actually bolt that back into place. Remember that I have a Sharpie marker of where it used to be, so that makes it a lot easier than if I didn't, and this is why I do that. At this point, I'm not going to be focused on tightening this or anything. I just want to keep it in place. And then from here on out, I have this motor right here, and this is the electric motor, right? And one thing that it has a safety function. This is a cable that you would put under right where the tow hitch cover is. So we're going to go ahead and wire that through as well. You have to push this right corner if you're looking at it, and if you push it, it's going to open up. And normally this is what it should look like. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wire, there you go, the yellow safety restraint cable. And all you want to do is just get a zip tie. And really, all you have to do is pull this, right, this metal cable, and then it should open it up, okay? So once I get to that point, I'm going to go ahead and shorten that. And then we can go ahead and pull that cable back, and then it go in with this part first. And there is a right way to put this on. So once you have that, boom. Put it on, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and connect this first. We're not powering anything, but this is the fuse that I mentioned earlier, and we're going to be connecting it to the battery. Okay, so this is the negative terminal, which is black, and then this is a positive terminal, which is red all the way in the back. You want to remove the negative, and then after that, you can loosen up the positive. Okay, so it is 10 millimeter that you want. So go ahead and loosen this. You don't have to loosen it that much actually. And then you just want to set this aside where it's not going to touch anything. Okay, that's really the key. Nothing metal. Okay, so now it's away. And now we can loosen this. This is the positive terminal. And we're going to go ahead and grab this, which is the fuse, and just put it in. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and tighten that. Awesome. And that's pretty much it as far as that. We're going to go ahead and connect the power again. So you're going to hold this, and you're going to try to go down just like that. One go. And we're going to go ahead and tighten that as well. Cool. Now we actually have power into this once it's connected. We're not ready to connect it, but now I have that ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and start wiring where we can see first. The first wiring we're going to be doing is a simple one. And when I say simple one, I mean the struts. In here it says D1, D2. That's fine. You want to go ahead and connect this first. Don't matter again. And you got this one as well. Again, they're the same. Make sure it clicks and you hear that sound. Okay, we have the other strut now. We're gonna go ahead and do the second one. Okay, there you go. Number 1, and then number 2 right here. So we got the struts connected. And don't worry about all the mess, all right, guys? Like, we are gonna make this a lot cleaner, so no worries. Once we have the struts connected, the next is I'm gonna go ahead and connect the purple connector with a brown layout like this with a blue band. And this blue band makes it watertight, all right, guys? And this purple, right, connector, it actually says, to this date, it says D5 is gonna go to this electric motor and it's gonna snap. Okay. There you go. There should be an obvious snap, like so. So now we have the struts, the cable connected to the electric motor, the motor right here. This is going to be your main controller, right, connection, right? And it's beefy. It also has a watertight, that's really important. We're gonna go ahead and grab the controller. And if you look carefully, it has a bunch of this 8 pins like this and a bunch of smaller ones. So just look through here. So you have those 8 pins at the top and then the smaller ones. So just line that up and it won't go in, okay? It will feel, don't force this in. The way you push this in is once it's squared like this, you're gonna pull this bracket, you're gonna pull it like so, and it snaps and it goes all the way and locks into place, and it puts that weather seal into effect. Next step that we are going to do is I'm going to go down one at a time, right? So we have this one smaller cable. It is white and it has an orange inside. This is a pretty simple one. I believe this one is the beep, the speaker. And this is an easy connection, very, very small. And the good news about these Frunk installations is that none of the cables have only one fitting, meaning that it cannot fit in any other areas, right? Except the struts, but again, that doesn't matter where you put it. So this is going to be a speaker. We're gonna put this aside. This says GND, and this is for ground. And there's a lot of areas where you could put ground, and where I'm going to be putting my ground is going to be this. Just go ahead and loosen it. Just a little bit more. We're gonna go ahead and put it under. There you go. That's grounded, and then go ahead and tighten that. There you go. So now, this unit is grounded as well. And we have this one. This is B+, and this is what's gonna actually be the power, I believe. We have this one connector. This is D1, and this is what connects with the second set of cables that you have. So everything else other than the power is done. We're gonna move on to the next cable. We're gonna go ahead and work on the latch area. You're halfway there. So let's go ahead and start with the original pump right here, the electric suction. You're gonna go ahead and loosen this up and then just pull, okay? And you'll see the yellow, right? And this is for the weather, so that it's sealed. And then you got this red connector. And what you're gonna be doing is you have this black and blue cable combination, and it's gonna daisy chain it, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and put it through here first, and you'll see it click. And then this blue and black with the weather stripping will go into what you just removed, okay? And that's the first connection. What does it say right here? It doesn't really say what it is, but it has a black covering with a white inside, and it would connect with the first cable that we connected. So go ahead and connect it. There's a clear distinction of sound once it connects. And once those are connected, you have just a few left. Let's go ahead and start with this was the original one that was connected to the original latch right over here. Let's go ahead and connect to that as well. Sorry, connect to that original. And this one has a black with a red like this. So I'm gonna try to explain it. It's really hard because some of these don't have names, and I'd rather not say some labels because sometimes it does change. And you're gonna go ahead and connect it to this black one with blue and white stripes. not stripes, lines. And then from here on out, you are going to connect it to the original one. So let's go ahead and push that, and then you push that in to lock it in, all right? So we have everything wired except one cable, guys, and this is the last one. This is the only one that's missing. Fits perfectly, latches on, and everything is wired. So now the final step is going to be this portion right over here, okay? And the way this is going to be, I know there's a lot of wires. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, I know, but we will clean it up, is to put this through, okay? Okay, so I got my power. Let's go ahead and connect it. And now we have power. And you can tell that there's power because check this out. It is beeping red. And we'll talk about some of the programming. Now that we have everything connected, we have to test this out. Before you put everything together, you have to make sure that the latch is correctly in its place and everything is wired. Considering that everything is firing up, there's no sparks, no fire. Just kidding, it doesn't happen like that. You should be good to go, and I am getting a signal right there. So before I put this into place, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking over the marks that I put with my permanent marker, and then I'll tighten it. So how do you test it? You want to grab this button right here, which connects to this kind of a purple yellowish cable right here, right? Because this is the thing that goes into the button. Make sure it does go the right way. All right, here's the click. My light is on right there. So to get to the highest position, press the black button on the control box until you hear sounds from control box. If you hold on long enough, you will hear a beep sound up to 6 sounds. I want to do the fastest. Honestly, I've had this before in my other car, Elsa, and I just did on the 6, the fastest. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And you release the button once you hear that sound, and then press to close the frunk. After reopening, the setting can be completed. So that's all you have to do. And I'm going to go ahead and hold the reset button. Listen to the beep. That's a really loud beep. That's why you can, that's 3. That's 4. I think that was 5. Let's see if it works. We're gonna go ahead and push this button. Okay, so that didn't work, but that's okay because we just need to adjust it. And that's what's gonna happen is you are gonna have to adjust some of these things. So what I noticed is it didn't quite go all the way down, so it didn't latch it. So I'm gonna move it up slightly. So go ahead and loosen this up. What I'd like to do is, this is the center of the vehicle. You see this V? That's kind of how I know. I want to make sure that this U shape is lined up perfectly to that center. So that's kind of my frame of reference. So as I'm tightening it, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that it is straight as it can be. Okay. Okay. Awesome. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and test it again. So close. I'm going to move it a little bit more to the right. There you go. So that's pretty good. It works. One thing that I'll be honest right here is there is a sag. Right over here, I can feel the sag, so that's what you want to do, and I can feel the sag right here as well. So you want to make some adjustments. So what does that mean? It's pulling it really, so we just want to go slightly higher, and that's what you're going to be adjusting. But it's good. We got it perfect on the horizontal side. Now we got to fix the vertical again. Okay, so let's go ahead and loosen that up again. a little bit better. So this side is perfect from what I see. This side is slightly higher, so I'm going to go ahead and try to fix that. Okay, let's go ahead and test it one more time. That's a lot better. That's pretty clean. I'm pretty happy with it, and that's how you adjust. I'm going to go ahead and open it one more time. And what I like to do is when you do this process, you want to do it several times. Yeah, it worked for the first time, but let's do it again. Sweet. And go ahead and open it back up. So now that we have everything working in order, we just need to clean this up, and that's what we'll show you next. The bucket really just goes all the way here. So what you do want to tuck it away where it's not going to be in the way and it doesn't protrude out, right? So this controller is what we're going to be working off of first. This would be a perfect area right over here, okay? So I'm going to go through this hole, and you're going to go underneath, and we're going to put it into this bracket that you see right here and go all the way through. Some other ideas that I've seen that other people do is they put felt so it doesn't shake, but honestly I haven't had that issue, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave this like so. Tighten it as much as you can, and that's good. I'm going to go ahead and grab my pliers and go ahead and just clip it. I like clipping as I go, cleaning up as I go. The other big bulky thing that you want to hide is this, right? This is the electronic motor. I like hiding it honestly inside the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this really, really long zip tie that Handshow provided. And we are going to go underneath, and we're going to do an X tie, okay? So try your best to go through like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab another zip tie from the other side. Let's see if I can get it right there. There we go. Just make sure. I'm going to have to make sure that this isn't going to be a problem right here. So what I'll do, so you have a little bit of clearance, about 2 inches from here. So this is good. I like just making sure that the cables aren't in the way of anything. So for example, I probably zip tied this so that it's a little bit cleaner. So let's go ahead and do that. This cable is fine, so I'm going to go ahead and just zip tie it to that. But just so you know, I don't like putting it on the heat pump or anything to do with AC or like anything that creates condensation. This is pretty clean right here. We can go ahead and zip tie these elements together. And I want to put this right next to my Handshow. So what I'll do for this one is I'm just going to put it like right next to it. It has an adhesive. Also, if it's too loud, you can just remove it, right? So this is fine. When you're doing this, make sure you clean it with some alcohol. That'll help a lot, and I didn't do that. Let's go ahead and clip. We got just a few more to do, guys. We're almost there. We got the ground right there. These are some of the other cables. You could kind of consolidate it. So let's go ahead and clean that up. All my wires are zip tied together. Make sure that this is visible because you need to pull this out later when you put the frunk back in. Let's go ahead and put the frunk back in. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it first. And once I grab it, the way I look at it is I like lining it up in that front part. All right, so I got my cable right there. Oops. Be careful, guys. There we go. The cable is good. There is a latch right there. This latch is good to go. I got my button. And then now all we have to do is get all the bolts into place. This is one clip that I always forget and drop. So just make sure that this clip is going to go in and then just lock that into place. I'm going to go ahead and connect my button. There's this, I guess, this teeth that goes in first, and then it clips out from the top. So go ahead and let's connect it first. All right, it's connected. I have light. Oh wait, I don't have light, but I got power over there, so we should be good. I'm going to go ahead and go bottom first. You'll feel it go down, and then you just push it in. We'll test it one more time. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and open it back up again. This is why you test it multiple times. The last part is putting this back on. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking through for the part 2 of the Hansho Model Y Frunk installation. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. Happy to help. We're here to educate you in customization, protection, and maintenance of your Tesla. Please click on that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.